Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Side Streets and Intersections here on IntellectualRadio.com. As you can see for my viewers and my listeners, I am solo today. On last week, we had an awesome show entitled Why It Is Important to Do Everything in Our Power to Keep the Black Family Together. And so I just want to kind of give you guys an update that my daughter had the opportunity to spend time with her brothers, and we celebrated one of the brothers' birthday and just had an awesome time. And so just want to give you guys an update about that. Also, if you're looking for an opportunity to host your own show here on IntellectualRadio.com, please do not hesitate to call 708-223-8953 because someone is waiting on your perspective. So I'm doing it solo tonight, if that's okay with my viewers and my listeners. And let me just say, I was approached randomly. You never know who's listening to your show. And someone approached me in the grocery store and said, hey, you have a show on intellectualradio.com. I had no idea who this person was. And he said, keep doing what you're doing. It's people like you that need to address a lot of the issues in a manner that you're addressing them to. So to that young man that was in Walmart, thank you for your support. You just never know who's tuning in, who's listening to you, and you just never know how you're impacting someone's life. But let's just talk about some current events. Mr. Donald Trump. Can I just say it? Oh my God. I keep hearing this statement, we are going to make America great again. Well, the last time I checked, America really didn't have a good reputation, particularly on how it's treated its inhabitants. You know, oftentimes people come here, and for most of us that are here, we were brought here not by our own free will. So, to make America great again. Now, I'm not saying that being here in America does not have its advantages as it does. However, please do not be blindsided by the reality of what really is going on. And by that, this is what I mean. They inundate you with all of these reality shows. And so you're caught up into wanting to be the housewives of Atlanta or the housewives of California. You even envision yourself being someone chosen on The Bachelor or The Mistress or whatever show. But all that is a distraction to keep you off the course of what really is going on. Now, I'm not saying that one shouldn't have a little playtime or one should not be allowed to escape some of the harsh reality of being here in the Americas. But please do not be misconstrued by the facts. The reality of it is that while America is supposed to be the land of the free with all its liberties, try speaking your mind and see how free you are. It may just wound you up in prison, murdered, and we all know the often note that they say that you're crazy. So just be reminded of that when you live here in America, that while it is a great place and there are a lot of advantages that we do have, just be aware, because there's nothing worse than a person existing in a place with their eyes wide shut. So just thought I would randomly talk about that. Oh, and just by the way, I thought I would incorporate into my show just some maybe fun facts or just some pieces of information that you can use. Like, for example, today I was preparing my dinner. And as I opened the oven, I inadvertently hit my arm on one of those racks, and you know how hot they get. And I was reminded from when I was in cosmetology school, whenever we would get burns when we were curling hair, we would use mustard. So I immediately opened the refrigerator and put mustard on where the burn had hit my arm or the heat. And there's no mark. The enzymes in the mustard, it took all the burn out and there's no scar. So just some fun facts for you guys to know. So getting back to this making America great again. America is great. And you have to ask yourself, for whom? Is it great for those who are privileged? But what about the underclass, the disenfranchised, those individuals who, by their very nature, just because they are of a specific ethnicity or cultural background, that they struggle for everything? And then when you are able to articulate yourself and you acquire certain levels of education, you don't fit in with your own people because now you're being bougie, and then they don't accept you. So what's a girl or a guy to do in a situation like that? As you can see today, I don't have any particular agenda, but I did also tell you that I would keep you reminded as to what is going on with my, just say, dilemma in terms of these work environments. Now I was placed off work, and after being placed off work, I was subjected to psychological assessments, of which I passed with flying colors. When I came back or was returned back to work, I never applied for what they call ethical leave back of 1993. But somehow I was placed on FMLA, no pay. Go figure. So anyway, we must continue to struggle for greater causes. And for these last several days, I've been kind of in a strange place. And when I say strange place, is that when you begin to walk into your next level, as things are being have and preparing you for, people will start to drop off. You will acquire perhaps maybe new encounters and new friends. And not to get upset when people are leaving your life. Because I was once reminded that if someone is running away from you and you choose to chase them, sometimes you will be reminded that what you were running after was death. And I don't think anyone's running to death. Hope not. So let's talk about what's going on in the city of. I mean, I commend the superintendent, the head honcho, for stripping those officers of their power with respect to the young man that got shot and killed. He did what he was supposed to do, and yet crime has escalated because he chose to be proactive and take a stance. Is not and does not give these young folks who just seem to have no particular guidance, no hope, a pass to kill. It has even become abhorrent in terms of the conditions that a lot of officers have to deal with, particularly when they work in institutions. There's a new breed that's coming into these institutions, and they have no regard for anyone. So you get up and you go to work with the intent of returning the same way you left. You do this repeatedly for 30, maybe 40 years. Then you ask yourself, sometimes, is it really worth it? Sometimes we get caught up into titles, we get caught up into the perceived powers that we get that comes along with a particular job, only to find out that you really don't have any power, at least not the power you thought you had. You can't even make simple decisions because everything that you try to do with respect to impact and causing some form of organizational change is stopped. And so you have no power. I mean, imagine going to work I'm sure you all have seen the videos, and having feces thrown in your mouth, and then being told that you have to come back the following day to that same environment. Imagine you're trying to do what is what you know to do in terms of how those individuals who are institutionalized and confined, and you're being beaten up. And then when you do try to protect yourself, you're on the verge of losing your job because you didn't follow protocol. I mean, when has it become so commonplace for inmates to whip out their genitals on a daily basis? And let me ask you this. Now, while it's okay to now start charging them as sexual predators, do you really think a person that is looking at 35 years or life really cares about another 7 years of being locked up? He could care less. So what change has really taken place? Is it really just a smoke screen to pacify those who are subjected to these abhorrent conditions? Imagine going to work. You're having to watch 48 individuals, ranging from everything from murder to sexual deviance to anything that you could possibly think of. 48 different individuals. And you're by yourself. You don't have a weapon on you. All you have are the tools that you've acquired in terms of we call common sense. So what happens when that doesn't work for you? When has it become ideal to, I don't know, to negotiate with someone who decides they want to take someone hostage? I mean, what type of society are we living in now that we are siding with the predators? We're giving them everything. And then we wonder why we are in a state of emergency right now with our young people. I mean, we want to abide by the rules and regulations. You know, you're raised as a child to tell the truth. But then when you tell the truth, they say, no, don't tell the truth because you're working against and not for. Sounds kind of confusing to me because either you are or you aren't. So like I said, there was just a lot going on my mind today. I went to work today and was forced to work 8 hours straight without a break. And when I went to a superior to ask him for to sign my time, stating that I was working through my lunch, he refused to sign it. So now I have to go back to the same working environment. Now, a lot of people would say, well, why would you go back? Why don't you just find another job? Well, sometimes you have to look at the bigger picture. And I do understand that whatever that I'm being subjected to is going to cause a change for someone else in that organization. And so sometimes we have to understand that it's to be the sacrifice. I can assure you that while a lot of individuals may be afraid to speak in terms of the lack of care and or concern that they feel, I've been assigned that task, meaning I didn't wake up just one day and say, oh, I want to start talking about adverse working conditions or social change. I think it's something that was already innate, and I think that it is my experiences that have kind of nurtured my desire and my need to create change for others. And so understanding that it takes me to when the young men and women sat in and they were spat on, wanted to be able to eat, have a simple sandwich. Don't get it twisted. Those times have not changed. They just become more sophisticated. Meaning, you work these jobs, you come to work, and as soon as you begin to raise issues under what they call concerted activity, you are now labeled a troublemaker. You have a target on your back. And as in my case, I was placed out of work for 14 months the first time. This time, 32 days. Not only did I have to go see let me get this together. I had to see a neuropsychiatrist, a psychologist, and a psychiatrist, pass all the examinations. Now I'm starting to ask the question, maybe they need to be assessed. Maybe I need to start having people psychologically assessed to even sit in my company. Ooh-wee. Did I hurt somebody's feelings? Well, like my mama always say, won't be the first and won't be the last. Anyway, I am Angela Champ for Sidestreets and Intersections here on IntellectualRadio.com. Going to a musical break and we will return soon.
It's all about you tonight. It's all about you tonight, babe. So go ahead and do your thing. Soon as we step in, cameras are flickering, glasses are tingling, champagne I'm sipping, VIP I'm sitting in, the whole club's rocking, everybody's watching the way that you're dancing. You're stepping on through the club tonight like you ain't got time to waste. I can see the smile on your face, like you're the only one in the place. It's all about you tonight. It's all about you tonight. It's all about you tonight, babe. So go ahead and do your thing. I can't stop you, babe. I can't stop you, babe. You're a showstopper, you do it so proper. I can't stop you, babe. I can't stop you, babe. You're a showstopper, you do it so proper. Girl, you're so sexy. Ooh, you're so classy. The fellas keep asking me, are you from another galaxy? You're stepping off through the club tonight like you ain't got time to waste. I can see the smile on your face, like you're the only one in the place. It's all about you tonight. It's all about you tonight. It's all about you tonight, babe. So go ahead and do your thing.
Welcome back to Side Streets and Intersections here on IntellectualRadio.com. I am your host, Angela Champ, and I just want to say thank you to all my listeners and my viewers. And I just want to say that the support is amazing. But before I get back to just my random thoughts on today, I want to remind you that if you're not doing anything on October 29th, there is a wonderful event that's going to be held at the Crystal Light Banquet hosted by Divas Inc. And that is going to be Vicki Travis Woods and Madeline Ward Freeman. So make sure that you purchase a ticket. It's for a great cause. It's for cancer survivors. It's a great event, pretty at peak affair, and it's something that you don't want to miss. Also, I will be the featured talent on that evening, so come on out and support. As a matter of fact, if you are interested in going, I will be purchasing maybe 6 tickets. And so if you're not doing anything on that evening, you'd like to go, kind of just inbox me, or you can call me here at the radio station at 708-223-8953, and I will advance you a ticket. So getting back to my random thoughts, and just this week has just been kind of crazy for me. So I was returned back to work on August, and I was returned back to work, and I didn't get a check. So I was trying to figure out, why didn't I get a check? So I went to my HR department. I was told that I have family medical leave, but I never even signed up for it. So then they wanted me to take time that I already had in my bank to cover up the time that they didn't pay me for. What type of madness is this? And I said, at some point, enough has to be enough. And my thing is, one would say, well, if I was being subjected to all of that, I would just quit or leave. Sometimes it isn't that easy, particularly when you get at a certain point in your life in terms of responsibilities and things of that nature. You really have to um, have the plan really laid out. And it's kind of difficult sometimes, not that I'm making any type of excuse, but it becomes kind of difficult when you're constantly being hit, one hit after another, in terms of some type of adverse impact. However, what I usually do, I use that as fuel to catapult me to the next level. And so I'm just so excited at the fact that I have the opportunity each week to tell my perspective and listen to the perspective of others in terms of what's really going on in the society, what's going on in your community, and become a little bit more vigilant about really raising the bar here at IntellectualRadio.com for my show, Side Streets and Intersections. So I want you all to stay tuned for that. Also, I want to give a shout out to a previous guest here I had on my show, Phoebe LaShawn Crape. She is now a radio personality for 92.3, I want to say. So congrats. I see you, girl. Done on you this time, girl. I see you. So I'm really excited. I'm always happy to just, pay it forward, meaning that if you hear good news about someone, congratulate them. Because there's so much going on in the world today that it's easy for people to look at the negative part and say, well, it's not me, I don't care. Somebody has to care about something. And also, I want to say to a coworker of mine, I have not seen you. Recently learned that her son was murdered out south around 87th or 82nd and Kedzie. And so just want you to know that my prayers are with you, and no one will ever understand what it is to lose a child. So I just want to say that my prayers are with you, and in the continued days, I hope that you will find solace and peace and understanding. So what are you thinking on this evening? I have random thoughts, but I also have thoughts with respect to how our women dress. And I wrote this piece. I'm tired of seeing sisters wearing pants and shirts that's 2 sizes too damn small. Waistline spilling over while the crack of their ass greets the sun, and they're sort of they're the dime piece of the ghetto. Spinning their last to see his broke ass. As he calls you bitches and hoes, but nobody knows the love you feel for your man. And you say, well, where are these thoughts coming from? I'm tired of women not wearing clothes that fit them. I'm tired of seeing women allow themselves to be disrespected. They work hard, and then they come and see these guys locked up, and they're disrespected, called all types of names because maybe they were 10 minutes late getting to the visit. Could nobody locked up curse me out? Let me know how I work out for you. I see you when I see you. Next. So I just want to say that, a lot of times I look at Facebook and Instagram, and women are posting all these provocative pictures, to society, while you think it's a fly picture of yourself, it really is you saying to the world that I don't respect myself. And the only way that I feel get attention is by wearing something that I feel is provocative and or sexy. Sister, it ain't sexy. It ain't sexy at all. So I just want you all to know that they got clothes that fit. It might cost you a little extra material, but they do make clothes that fit you. And the other thing, do little girls wear skirts anymore? Do they wear slips? Do they even wear stockings anymore? And just some of these hairstyles that they have on these little girls is just too much. There is no way, and this is just my opinion, but there's no way that you should be posting on Facebook or Instagram your child with her hands on her hip in all these lucrative, or not lucrative, but provocative poses. That is crazy to me. And what is it with these young people that's killing these babies? I mean, I don't understand. What kills me is you all talk about the transparency of the police department, but where is the transparency of the community? Where is the responsibility? Lil Ray Ray's mama, Lil Ray Ray's cousin, you know he ain't no good, but you be the first one on TV talking about he was killed and my son or my daughter didn't do nothing wrong. I remember my daughter was a little girl, and we were walking down the street on Arlington and Independence. Yeah, I'm from the west side, from the hood, right? And I was chastising my child, and someone interjected and said, "Oh, don't talk to that baby that way." I said, "Let me explain something to you. I need you to exercise your right to mind your own business. Because this same child, if I don't discipline her, she'll be robbing you." The individual thought about it and he said, "I respect that." So these are just my random thoughts today. You know, I don't get a chance to really just kind of go off a little bit or kind of vent a little bit. I'm usually very serious and everything is pretty much, I don't want to say necessarily scripted, but I like order. But I do have those days where I just want to talk about everything and talk about nothing. About everything and talking about nothing, you find out that you might just know something. So I was thinking about this. When I rise in the morning, I don't know where my steps are going to take me. But I thank the Heavenly Father that He has allowed me to be here yet another day to try to get this thing right called life. Each day I am faced with challenges. And sometimes I want to give up. Sometimes I just want to ball up in a fetal position and cry and say, why me? And He reminds me that you told me a long time ago that you would fight. You would be a soldier in this thing called life. And so He doesn't tell you what the battle is going to be. It just happens. But the good thing about understanding change is that you learn not to take it so personal anymore. For example, I talked about earlier how there is a paradigm shift happening in my life. And with that being said, when challenges come my way, whether self-inflicted or by the actions of others, I don't get mad. I analyze it, I assess it, and I move on. And I understand it for what it is. So, how do we impact change, embrace change, particularly when it's uncomfortable for us? Most people would just, they drink or they do drugs or they just try to ignore the problem. Sometimes you have to take these problems and these challenges face on and say, whatever it is that's coming my way, I'm ready. Now, it doesn't mean that you're not going to get knocked in your gut sometimes. And sometimes the wind might get knocked out of you. But the thing is to get back up and continue to fight. And I just want to say that I'm really happy where my life is going. And I want to let any and everyone know that if you think that you're going to hold me down with whatever you try to employ, I'm glad I know what it is, because you cannot hurt me any longer. So those are just some random thoughts about things that are going on in my life. And I know that I'm not the only person that is or has experienced people that are supposed to be in positions of leadership, and yet because they don't know what it is to be a leader, they can't lead and or guide you. It was always said to me that a man with no vision can't lead me. So on that note, we're going to take a musical break, and we're going to come back to Side Streets and Intersections here on IntellectualRadio.com.
I just want to know one thing. It's all about you tonight. It's all about you tonight. It's all about you tonight, babe. So go ahead and do your thing. Soon as we step in, cameras are flickering, glasses are tingling, champagne I'm sipping, VIP I'm sitting in, the whole club's rocking, everybody's watching the way that you're dancing. You're stepping off through the club tonight like you ain't got time to waste. I can see the smile on your face, like you're the only one in the place. It's all about you tonight. It's all about you tonight. It's all about you tonight, babe. So go ahead and do your thing. I can't stop you, babe. I can't stop you, babe. You're a showstopper, you do it so proper. I can't stop you, babe. I can't stop you, babe. You're a showstopper, you do it so proper. Girl, you're so sexy. Ooh, you're so classy. The fellas keep asking me, are you from another galaxy? You're stepping off through the club tonight like you ain't got time to waste. I can see the smile on your face, like you're the only one in the place. It's all about you tonight. It's all about you tonight. It's all about you tonight.
Welcome back to Side Streets and Intersections here on IntellectualRadio.com. Let me just send a shout out. During the commercial break, I got a message on Facebook, and to my big sister Yolanda Butler, all the way down in Orlando. You and Regina, yes. You guys are tuned in, so I'm excited about that you guys are listening. And also, Yolanda and Regina, they are vegan. They are vegetarians doing it right, cleansing the body. Yolanda, I'm trying to get there, girl, but I'm not there quite yet. I'm working, but I'm not quite there yet. But I just want to say that we are going to get together real soon. I really had a ball when I was down there in the Keys with you guys, and that will not be the last, just the first of many. Also, I want to send a birthday shout out to Sherry Barron. Today is her 41st birthday. So happy birthday. And also her twin, I actually had him on the show as well, Bishop Barron. So happy birthday. And let me just say that I apologize. I had to work, had some other things that I had to tend to. So I apologize for not showing up to your event. However, that will not be the last of many that I will attend. So I'm just, like I said, I'm just having random thoughts here today. And I just want to say that I am so excited. Also, I just got another hit. Mr. Thorne, Adrian Thorne, thank you. You also are tuned into Side Streets and Intersections. Thank you. I actually met Adrian. I met him at the Nike Run Club with Kevin Hart. And so we're both a part of the Nike Run Club. And so you were supposed to hit me up, Mr. Thorne, about us running again. So anyway, when I'm off Facebook, I'll hit you up. And I just want to say that also it is Leo season. So I do want to say some happy birthdays to all of the Leos out there. Also to Josette Morrow. I know you're getting it in on this evening with you and your family. I'm sorry that I could not be there, but I am there in spirit. You guys are always having something. So that will not be the last of many things that I will come to in terms of celebrating your birthday and other events in your life. And to anyone that's celebrating a birthday this month, and particularly to our African American men of color, anyone under the age of 30, if it is your birthday, I just want to say that congratulations that you have made it past that mark of 21. It is a shame that we're picking out more caskets than we are picking out colleges. We're picking out suits. You ever heard that term? Oh, he casket ready. That's a hell of a term to say to somebody. But it's something when you don't have the expectation that your young child will live to the age of 25. So this is my plea to all of those. I know that everybody just can't get up and leave with their children. But sometimes in order to see change, you're going to have to do something really different. So it may require you going to an unfamiliar place, Ireland, Iowa, wherever, to get a fresh start. Because our African American men have become an endangered species. I grew up on the west side of Chicago, Polite 3952 West Ontario, from the hood. I lived 901 South Independence. I even lived a couple of 76 South Shore, Euclid Parkway. So I know what it's like to come from the hood. I know what it's like to watch your back everywhere you go. But would the neighborhoods be that bad if those that were raising those children would discipline them? You can't get high with your kids. There is nowhere in the world that a mother should be twerking in front of her son or telling her young child that he is now the man of the house when he's only 10 years old. He's a boy. He's not a man. And you wonder why he don't like nobody when you bring him around. I'm sorry. You all may think I'm just going off on a tangent on this evening. But there are a lot of issues that, because I see these young men when I go to work every day, and I see a lot of them say, oh, I don't care about dying. I'm not going to live till I get 25 anyway. Envision saying something like that. Now, one would say, well, oh, you're a female. But even for the women now, when have our people become in part so barbaric? Just like wild boar. Mothers and fathers, uncles, preachers and pastors. We got to do more than just talk. We can have all the dialect in the world, all the conversations, but without hard action and constant support of our young people, we are no better than them. The only difference is we didn't get caught. So let me ask you this. Are you looking for change, or are you looking for excuses? Most people talk about they want, but they really don't. And it's interesting that I am so tired of all the smoke screens that are put up, meaning I look at my young people and I talk to them when I'm at work and I ask them, why are you living this life? And they say, well, Miss Champ, you don't understand. It's hard out there, and if you don't get with the gang, then you'll probably get beat up and or murdered or whatever. We've given our, on some levels, we've given our children too much, meaning that everything is accessible to them. They don't have to work for cell phones anymore. They don't have to work for anything. When has it become fashionable to buy your kid a $300 pair of shoes, but they don't go to school? I don't understand that. Now you struggling to pay the light bill because you didn't put a pair of 60-cent shoes on this young man's or young woman's feet. That even when I had raised my daughter, I wasn't guilty of giving her some of the frivolities that I had not experienced as a child. We all have done it. But at some point, you have just got to stop, because it gets to the point where they don't feel that they have to work for anything, and you become an enabler. You enable everything that they do. I'm just outdone. Now, like I said, these are just my random thoughts today, because I don't get a chance to sometimes just have random thoughts. I'm usually very focused, as you say, and I usually have things that have perhaps been scripted. But sometimes I just like to do things out of order, because sometimes there's understanding in the midst of chaos. Now, I know that sounds like, really? But sometimes in the midst of chaos, you will find understanding. It's just all about your perspective. So I'd like to know, are you looking to change your circumstance? And what are you doing to change your circumstance? Are you just talking about change? Or are you getting up every day with a plan in place? Meaning, are you associating yourselves with people who are smarter than you? Or are you hanging around the same people doing the same old things as you? Let me know how that works out for you. I'd hate to see you in the same place that you are today next year. Because if you want different results for your life, then you have to be willing to sacrifice. You have to be willing to put in the sweat and tears. You have to be willing to even be honest enough to say that maybe I'm not good at that, but let me try this. And you can't be too proud to simply say that I need help. I'm actually kind of enjoying this today. In the next couple of weeks, I will have a young lady on here who is a physician assistant to talk about pre-diabetes, health, and wellness in the African American community. So, Camille, I'm looking forward to your presence here in the upcoming weeks. Also, as you all aware, that I am into this series of keeping the African American family together. And the reason I'm so big on this, because I'm not close with my own family. But what I've learned is that family doesn't necessarily have to share the same bloodline. Family can be those who respect you and love you and only want the best for you. And I can honestly say that in my life that I've had a lot of people placed in my life strategically to help guide me and to give me good and sound advice. And I also want to say that this summer has been really, really amazing for me, because I've had the opportunity to travel to places that were unfamiliar to me. I've had the opportunity to meet some amazing people. And so what it tells me is that I'm growing. And I think that I often hear people say, oh, I'm too old to change. I don't want to be around someone who says they're too old to change, because what they're telling me is that they're stuck. So my advice to anyone out there who is stuck in a situation where a person just can't embrace change, might just have to leave them, whether it be a spouse, whether it be a boyfriend, girlfriend. Sometimes we have to disassociate ourselves from our family, particularly if they're not on an agenda that is conducive to becoming a better you. So I just want to say that I am so happy about these random thoughts that I'm sharing with the public. It gets, sometimes it's good not to be all fancied up. As you can see, I don't have any makeup on today. I'm just kind of me. And but I'm in a good place. But I feel like I want to do some spoken word. So for my listeners, I was thinking about this. I rise. I am awakened by the sound of fear. I am awakened, and now I'm being chased by failures. I'm reminded by those who claim that I am not worthy. And so I sit. I sit in anticipation of wondering where my life will take me. And then it dawns on me that I am greater than my fears. I am just that. I am victorious. I am not simple, nor am I basic. So, just something I wanted to share with you guys. So, I've actually prepared dinner. I got off work today, right? And let me just show you what real women do. A real woman can go to work. She can go grocery shopping. She can prepare a meal, come do a radio show, go back and do some homework, and prepare for tomorrow. I don't understand women. I'm sorry. It's just my opinion. But I don't understand these women that's 30 and 40 years old can't cook. You Gucci down, but you can't boil water. Your Remy weave costs more than your backpack. If you're wearing a backpack, I'm just saying. Are you on a cruise ship that's permanently docked? Oh, we ponder that. Where are you going next? I see a lot of people posting about different places that they're going or had gone this summer, and places that they anticipate on going. But let me just say this. For different places, learn something new. Don't just do the same thing you do at home. Learn about the indigenous people. Go to a museum. Talk to the natives and find out, get a little history. Go to just do something different. Try a different food. Because it amazes me when I hear people say, oh, I'm going on vacation. Oh, I'm going on vacation. And I say, well, what do you do? Oh, I went to the mall. I got drunk and I turned up. We had a good time. And that's okay. I mean, we all are different. That's okay. But don't you want to learn something new? This is how we become better. This is how we grow. It's when we embrace new things. I never want to be on a boat that is permanently docked. If it never goes out to shore, you might want to ask yourself, where are you really going? Anyway, this hour has went so quick on my random thoughts. I like random thoughts. And it's good for, I think, the public to see that I'm not all books and notes, that I do have random thoughts and I do talk about things that I think are important. Maybe they're just significant to me. But I just thought I would share some of the thought with you guys on this evening. Next week, I will have a special guest. So, what I want you to do is make sure that you tune in. Oh, so next week, it'll be 2 weeks. My producer has advised me that he's going to be, oh, out of town. It's his birthday. It's his birthday. So we want to say happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Yeah, it ain't my birthday. But anyway, so much. I just want to say that thank you for tuning in to my listeners and viewers. We are an iHeart radio station, so please do download the app when you get the chance. Also, I will see you in 2 weeks here on Side Streets and Intersections on IntellectualRadio.com. And until again, miss me and move around with that nonsense.